Please, what happened is this. Today, we made a no-case submission. The meaning of no-case submission is that the trial.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me in this live section. So guys, I will continue that video, but stay tuned so that you get all the full details of what Aloy Ejimako said today. He exposed a lot of things that transpired in court today. So stay tuned because I'm going to play that video soon. So now there's something that happened in court, which I said before, but let me just repeat myself in case you didn't get that point. Now guys know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was in court today, and then judge actually postponed it to 10th of October, and then 10th of October is going to determine a lot of things, whether Kanu will be freed, or then he'll be still be detained. And then you guys know that today, in fact, they were supposed to even give the final judgment today, but unfortunately Justice James Omotosho said he wants to go on vacation, and then they extended it. They actually postponed it to 10th of October. Although many Nigerians have come out to complain, saying why 10th of October, why are they postponing it? I thought today would be the last judgment, but then it has happened. So now 10th October is going to decide whether Kanu will leave that detention, will leave DSS custody, or he will remain there. Now his lawyers, his legal team has also come out to say that 10th will decide if he'll be there or not, and then they said if Kanu is not released, they have vowed to what? To start the defense. They'll begin their defense. According to the lawyer said that it's been long. In fact, they have not started defense since Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case started. DSS witnesses have been saying a lot of things about them, that if they don't release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that they will begin defense. Because since the started Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, DSS witnesses have been saying a lot of things, accusing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They said, if they don't release him on the 10th of October, that they will start their defense. Guys, remember, stay tuned, because I'm gonna play a video. In that video, Kanu's lawyer exposed a lot of things that transpired in court, which you don't know, your ignorance of. So stay tuned, because you get a lot of details from this video. So now today we'll be breaking down a very important update in the trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. There's been fresh tension and confusion about what exactly his lawyer said in court, especially about the October 10th ruling and what they mean by entering defense. I'm gonna play a video for you guys. I'm repeating myself, of where the lawyer came out to say what transpired. Guys, let me now tell you that they only allowed 10 people to, people that wanted to attend Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial today. They only attend 10. So now there are many things that happen that many don't know. So the lawyer has come out to open up, guys. So stay tuned. I'm gonna play a video and you get that details in that video. So now the lawyer, there's been a fresh tension and confusion about what exactly his lawyer said in the courts. I'm going to play a video so you guys understand what happened, especially about the October 10th ruling and what they mean by entering defense. If you have seen this headline or video but fully don't understand what's at stake, stay with me, because I'm going to break everything down for you to understand in details, guys. So now recently, after yet another court session in Abuja, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu led counsel clarify that the Federal High Court has now fixed October 10th to deliver its ruling on what lawyers call a no-case submission. Now, let me take you back a little bit. In the last court session, that is not this one that happened today, Mazi Nnamdi, the DSS finished their witnesses. They have brought enough witnesses, and then it was time for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's legal team to now, bring up their own witnesses, and then they filed what they call no case submission. You guys know that they filed what they called no case submission, and then you were expecting the judge to give his final judgment today. Remember that he postponed it to 18th of July, which is today, and we're expecting the Justice James Omotosho to give his final declarations, his final judgment. But unfortunately, Justice James Omotosho said he wants to rest. He wants to go on vacation to his family. Although many people have come to criticize and say, why are you going on vacation when a man's life is in detention for so long, an innocent man? Imagine. So now, unfortunately, it has happened. What has happened. So we have to just understand it and then wait for October 10th, as they have fixed October 10th for the next trial. So recently, after yet another court section in Abuja, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's led counsel clarified that the Federal High Court has now fixed October 10th to deliver its ruling on what lawyers call a no-case submission. So October 10th, Justice James Omotosho is going to, rule on what they call no case submission. What is no case submission? You guys are asking, what is no case? Let me not break everything down for you guys to understand. No case submission simply means that, the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers is saying that DSS has brought enough witnesses and none can prove he's a terrorist. So they are saying they're demanding that they close the case or they dismiss the trial. That is what they mean by no case submission. So what does let me put it in simple terms for you guys. Kanu's lawyers are asking the judge to dismiss all the charges without even calling any defense witness. Yes. That's what the no case submission is. So why? Because they argue that the the federal government has completely failed to prove any of the allegation of terrorism or treason. One of the major charges of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is what? Terrorism and treason. And then, after the DSS witness brought all their witnesses, they brought all their evidences, but none can prove he's a terrorist. So then Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's legal team had to, when it was time for them to bring their witnesses, when it was time for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's legal team to bring their witnesses, Kanu's legal team filed what is called a no case submission. And a no case submission means that Kanu's lawyer are asking the judge to dismiss all the charges without even calling any defense witnesses. Now, you might be asking why. Because they argue that the federal government has completely failed to prove any of the allegation of terrorism and treason. Guys, stay tuned. I have a video to play for you guys to show you guys what really transpired that you don't know in court. The lawyer came out to expose a lot of things. So stay with me. Now, they believe the evidence is so weak. The SS witnesses brought evidence that can't even hold water. So now, and the entire trial is so, is weak by illegal redemption from Kenya. That is the only fair decision, is to throw the case out and release him immediately. Now, Kanu's lawyer is saying that they should throw the case out and release him immediately. So October 10th is now the day when court will decide. October 10th is when the court will decide what is going to happen. October 10th is when court will decide what is going to happen. So October 10th is the D-Day. Is the D-Day will know. In fact, October 10th will decide if Kanu will live there or not. Should Kanu be freed immediately? It will decide whether Kanu will be freed immediately, or should the trial continue to full hearing. That's when we now, October 10th is the D-Day. Now, some people were angry when they heard about the long delay. The lead counsel clarified in a short press statement that the judge is going on vacation. Yes, vacation, and that's why the ruling was moved to October. For Kanu supporters, this looks suspicious. After all, after even when Kenya High Court has already declared that the 2021 adoption was illegal and called for his return to Kenya, yet in Nigeria, the same man remains in solitary confinement while the judge takes a break and justice is delayed further. Like I said, when we heard that Justice James Omotosho is going for break, it was we were, how would I even put it? We were traumatized. Imagine, after, even with his ailment, Kanu's sickness and everything, with Kanu's heart problem, air problem and everything, he's there in detention, and then Justice Omotosho is going for break, even when Kenya High Court has already declared that his 2021 adoption was illegal and they called for his return to Kenya. Yet in Nigeria, that same man remains in solitary detention while the judge takes a break and justice is delayed further. So the lawyer was very careful to state this publicly to clear the air, to correct misinformation about the dates, and to calm tension among IPOP supporters who feel the judiciary is playing for time. So now, like I said, I actually have a video to show you guys when the lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, came out to say a lot of things, to actually clarify people, because that fake news are actually flying around. So he came out because he was in court. So he came out to make a video clarifying everyone what happened in court, what transpired in court. So anything you hear from Aloy, just know that that's what happened. I'm going to play the video, very soon. So stay with me, because there are a lot you need to know of what happened in court today. So now, the most crucial part many people don't fully grasp is why clarifying the dates. Kanu's lawyer also said that if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not released by October, Kanu's lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, has come out to say, if Kanu is not released on the October, because they have actually delayed his trial. They have delayed his trial. Imagine a man sitting in one place for so many. Do you know that they actually this October means like 2 months or 1 month, and they actually postponed it to October 10th. meaning that Kanu will still be in detention till that time. Do you know how it feels for someone to be locked up, locked behind bars for months, and without seeing his family? Do you know the trauma? Do you know the depression you'll be passing through? So his lawyers has come out to say if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not released by October, hey, they will enter defense. And you guys know what he means by they will enter defense. According to him, he said that there has not this. In fact, since they started this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial, that they have not entered any defense. But this time around, if it's not released on October, they will enter full defense, and then they're going to deal with DSS. Aloy Ejimako came and said that if he's not released on the October 10th, because we have had enough of these tactics, these delay tactics. You see, 10th October, if they not release him, that he's going to enter what he call defense, and he's going to deal with DSS. So now, what does this mean? It means that if the judge rules against the no case submission, because they filed a no case submission, trying to tell the judge that he should strike out all the charges that the federal government, it has no crime against him. So now the Kanu's legal team will stop asking for outright dismissal, and instead they will start defending him like any normal criminal trial. That is just what he meant by they will enter defense. Now remember, stay tuned, because you have a lot to grab. Now the number one thing they will do is cross-examination. Like cross-examination, prosecution witnesses will start. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's legal team will start bringing witnesses. They will prepare more, because DSS feel they know what they are doing. They feel, imagine their own cross-examination has finished, and then it is time. In fact, if it's not released on the 10th, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will start their own, his legal team will start their own cross-examination. They'll start bringing witnesses to defend DSS, and trust me, they're going to dismantle both the Onyami, so-called Onyami. They said he ordered to buy people. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ordered him to buy people. All those things. Kanu's legal team will bring their witnesses, and then they will deal with DSS. Remember, I said cross-examination, prosecution witness will start in details, and they will call their own witnesses. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's legal team will call their own witnesses to witness against Nigerian government. Now, to testify against Nigerian government. Now, they will present documents, audio. They are going to come prepared. You see, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in fact, his lawyer said that since they started his case, that they have not brought any witness to court to come and defend against federal government. That if they don't release him on the 10th of October, we're going to wait patiently. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to wait patiently until 10th of October. Then we'll know. If they don't release him, they will start their own witness. Kanu's legal team will bring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will bring his own witnesses to come and testify against the federal government. Guys, we cannot wait. We can't even wait for 10th October, because 10th October is going to decide if Kanu will leave detention, if his full trial will still continue. Guys, drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this headline. So now, they will present documents, audio, video, or any evidence that proves Kanu's innocence. That is what is going to happen if they don't release him. Defense will begin, and they will argue point by point that the government's allegation cannot stand in law. It's going to be a powerful one. They're going to argue, point by point, that government's allegation cannot stand in law. This is very significant because it shows how the legal strategy shifts from fighting to cancel the whole trial to fighting within the trial. Now, up until now, Kanu's lawyer has based their battle on the principle that his extraordinary detention from Kenya was illegal under international law, and so the court should not even entertain any trial in the first place because his adoption was illegal. But if the judge refuses to uphold that argument in October, then they will have no choice but to enter defense to fight the charges on their merits. For many supporters, this is seen as a dangerous path because it means accepting the process they have always said is fundamentally flawed. Now, the federal government is doubling down. Their lawyers argue in court that Kanu's so-called threats to disintegrate Nigeria is not an empty threat. Get me? Now, I'll repeat myself. The federal government actually argued something in court. I'm trying to expose to you what really happened in court that you don't know. Now, the federal government is doubling down now. Their lawyers argued in court that Kanu's so-called threat to disintegrate Nigeria is not an empty threat. Now, in their view, His broadcasts, his radio Biafran programs, IPOB activities, and the Eastern Security Network are proof that he's not just talking but actively organizing to break up the country. So in court today, his lawyers actually argued that Kanu is purposely want to like break up Nigeria. Now they're not even talking about the fact that Kanu started agitating because of the marginalization of the Igbos. What they're now saying now is that he purposely wanted to break up Nigeria. That is what Nigerian government is now saying. Now they are saying that he's actively organizing to break up the country. This argument is key for the federal government because it justifies keeping him in custody and continue the trial on terrorism charges. Now they are using this thing to hold their ground. Nigerian government, the lawyers of Nigerian government or the federal government, they are using this stance to hold their ground, saying that Kanu wants to, purposely divide or break up the country. That is what they are using to hold their stance, guys. Now, in their way of telling the court, that's the way of telling the court that this is not mere freedom of speech, that this is an existence or threat to divide Nigeria. So now what they're now saying in court is that that it's not about freedom of speech, that Kanu was not actually expressing himself, that he was a planned way of breaking up Nigeria. Do you know that federal government, the lawyers cannot not even talk about what actually led? If you want to talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his how he started agitating, you should actually talk about what actually led to the agitation. Why did Mazi Nnamdi Kanu start agitating? Because this thing now that the federal government is using to hold their stance that Kanu wants to divide Nigeria, purposely wants to divide Nigeria, you should ask yourself what made him to start agitating. It was the marginalization of the Igbos, the persecution of the Igbos. That was why he started agitating. So now they should address the root cause of this and not trying to say that Kanu wants to break up Nigeria. No, it was Nigerian government that caused why Kanu is agitating. They were treating the Igbos like slaves. Yes, remember what happened in the Civil War? Even up to now, we are still seeing it. Even up to now, we are still expressing what's ourselves after the Civil War. Look at how Igbos are marginalized even politically. Yes, how many people will you see in Senate? How many people how many Igbo people are senators? How many Igbo people are ministers? How many people is DSS DG an Igbo man? Minister of Education, is it an Igbo person? Now let me quickly play this video for you guys to watch. Like, his lawyer came up and said a lot of things. Guys, take a look at this video.
Please, what happened is this. Today we made a no case submission. The meaning of no case submission is that the trial or the case or witnesses or evidence presented by the prosecution since this trial commenced in March this year did not rise to the level of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stepping into the dock to enter his defense. We did that in writing, and we also supported it with a verbal presentation today. And the government made a counter presentation as well. Today, unfortunately, happened to be the last day of the sitting of the judge handling this case before he proceeds on vacation for 2 months. So the case has been set down for ruling on the no case submission for October 10th. If the ruling goes in our favor, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will stand discharged or acquitted. If it doesn't mean he has been convicted, but he will be called upon to enter his own defense. And that is when we are going to see the defense we are going to enter, if at all necessary. We have not entered our defense since this case because the procedure has not come to that point. And we pray and hope that it will never do. That on the 10th, the matter will be over. But if perchance it doesn't, we are ready to proceed on the floor upon to do so. Thank you very much.
So guys, you heard his lawyer said that 10th of October is going to decide if Kanu will leave, because they have already accepted that okay, Justice James Omotosho wants to go on vacation, but I feel they want to go and they just want to purposely delay that trial. But now Kanu's lawyer have already accepted that okay, yes, he's going to go on vacation, and then they have actually shifted the postponed Kanu's trial to 10th of October, and then 10th of October is going to decide if Kanu will leave that place. And if 10th of October reach and then he's not released, they are going to like enter defense. And you guys know what that means. They'll bring their witnesses. They will not start witnessing, or start defending Kanu's innocence, because DSS has finished defending themselves. So if they don't release him, cross-examination prosecution witness will begin in details, because they will call their own witnesses to testify against Nigerian or the federal government. They will present documents, audio, video, or any evidence that proves Kanu's innocence, and they will argue point by point that the government allegation cannot stand in law. Yes, that's what they're going to do. Now, this is very significant, because it shows how the legal strategy shifts from fighting to cancel the whole trial to fighting within the trial. Up until now, Kanu's lawyer has based their battle on the principle that his extraordinary redemption from Kenya was illegal under international law, and so the court should not even entertain any trial in the first place. Yes, even US observers have said the fact that he was kidnapped, his trial shouldn't be on at all. They would have just, stopped his trial, or even, acquit him. His trial should not be even be on. That's what US observers said. But if the judge refuses to uphold that argument on October, then they will have no choice but to enter defense to fight the charges on their merits. For many supporters, this is seen as a dangerous path, because it means accepting the process they have always said is fundamentally flawed. Meanwhile, the federal government, is arguing in court that Kanu purposely wants to like break up Nigeria without even addressing the root cause. What made Kanu to start agitating? What made him to start demanding for self-determination? And is self-determination a crime? That is just it. Now, on 10th October, if the judge sides with Kanu in October, he walks free. If the judge is on the side of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his legal team, he's going to walk free on the 10th of October. Now, I have a video to show you guys. There are many things that actually happened. Even Soyinka came and said that, Kanu was kidnapped. I'm going to play a video for you guys. Like, stay with me. I have a lot to tell you guys and show you guys in this live session. Stay with me. So now, Soyinka came out to even say that Kanu was truly kidnapped. So stay with me. I have a lot to reveal to you guys. Now, on October, if the judge cites the Kanu and his legal team, Kanu will be released on October 10th. So October is like a D-Day. It was going to decide now if he'll be released, if Kanu's legal team will start defense. And if Kanu is released, he's going to walk free. If the judge cites the federal government, the trial enters full defense mood. If the judge sides with the federal government, the trial enters full defense mood. Kanu's team will then present evidence and witnesses to prove his case. And Nigeria's judiciary, already accused of endless delay, will once again be under intense scrutiny at home and abroad. Now, in the end, this is not just a court case. It's a test of Nigeria's constitution. It's respect for international law and the right of an oppressed people to self-determination. Will the court do the right thing? What we're asking the Nigerian government to do is to what? Do the right thing. Obey your constitution, please. How can the law be saying something else and the judge is doing otherwise? How? Please, Nigerian government, obey this your constitution, obey your law, please. Kanu is not begging anyone to release him. He demands justice because the law says. He demands justice because the law says. So will the courts do the right thing, or will they keep playing politics while an innocent man sits in detention, as the lawyer puts it? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. October 10th will be a defining moment for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB, and the Nigerian judiciary itself. If you find this very interesting, guys, hit that subscribe button and drop a thought, drop your comments. Let's talk about it. So now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer says that, that if the court doesn't release him on October 10th, that they will enter full defense and fight the charges ahead on. That is what Kanu's lawyer means. That's what Kanu's lawyer is saying. Now, if you have not watched that video, let me play that video one more time for you guys to see for yourself. Take a look.
What happened is this. Today, we made a no-case submission. The meaning of no-case submission is that the trial or the case or witnesses or evidence presented by the prosecution since this trial commenced in March this year, did not rise to the level of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stepping into the dock to enter his defense. We did that in writing, and we also supported it with a verbal presentation today. And the government made a counter presentation as well. Today, unfortunately, happened to be the last day of the sitting of the judge handling this case before he proceeds on vacation for 2 months. So the case has been set down for ruling on the no case submission for October 10th. If the ruling goes in our favor, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will stand discharged or acquitted. If it doesn't mean he has been convicted, but he will be called upon to enter his own defense. And that is when you are going to see the defense we are going to enter, if at all necessary. We have not entered our defense since the beginning of this case because the procedure has not come to that point. And we pray and hope that it will never do. That on the 10th, the matter will be over. But if perchance it doesn't, we are ready to proceed on the floor upon to do so. Thank you very much.
So the lawyer came out to expose some things that transpired in court today. Now let's look at what somebody said. Somebody said, Wonderful Love said, Nnamdi Kanu is the born in Nigerian courts. Let's keep letting the world know that Nigeria is violating their rule of law. Yes, Nigeria is violating their rule of law. What is it? What is the big deal in just obeying your constitution and obeying the rule of law? What is the big deal? If they claim that they practice democracy, why don't you just obey your rule of law? Why are they making rule of law look like it's nothing in Nigeria? Why? Oh yeah, obey international law. What they did is actually violated international law. Nigeria is a lawless country. A lawless country. Kanu has been held in solitary confinement since June 2021, despite multiple court orders and the Kenya High Court ruling his adoption was illegal and remains in detention. Now, Soyinka came out. Wole Soyinka came out to say that Kanu was adopted. He was kidnapped. He said it without even, being scared, because right now, even southeastern governors are actually scared of coming out to say the truth. Yes, they are scared they might get sanctioned, or they might remove them, even when the president has no power. But you can see today, President Tinubu is actually removing governors as if he has the power. That is how lawless Nigeria is. They can't even obey their own law. So Eastern governors, they are scared to come out to say the truth that Kanu was truly kidnapped. How many Eastern governors have you seen, in court or trying to say that Kanu should be released? How many have you seen? Rather, they go and paint Kanu bad. People like what's he called again? The governor of Anambra State and Imo State. These are the ones that don't even want him to be released. So now, Kanu has been held in solitary confinement since June 2021. Despite multiple court orders and the Kenya High Court ruling, his adoption was illegal and he remains in detention. And he remains detained. I'm going to play a video for you guys, where Soyinka came out to say a lot of things concerning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, saying that Tinubu should release him now. People are saying that Tinubu is not the one that puts Kanu there. Let me tell you something. Tinubu's administration actually inherited a detention of a man who is innocent. They only said that his people should be freed, and he wants self-determination. Tinubu's government inherited it, and Kenya High Court has come to say that what Nigerian government did was bad. So why is it that Tinubu doesn't want to release him? Why? So his silence to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's crime, despite Kenya High Court coming out to say that he's innocent, it actually makes it look he's complicit. In fact, his silence what his silence is saying, in other words, is that Tinubu is actually complicit to Kanu's detention, illegal detention. Now, in October 2022, Nigerian Court of Appeal discharged and acquitted him. Yet the federal government filed a stay of execution and refused to release him. This set a dangerous precedent for ignoring the rule of law. The federal government insists Kanu's push for Biafra is not just talk. It's an actual threat to Nigerians' unity. Imagine, how can the government say that Kanu wants to purposely divide Nigeria? Why is it that ignoring the root cause of what happened? What made Kanu to start agitating? The Igbos are treated like slaves. That is why he started agitating. He did not just wake up one morning to start agitating. Something led to the other. Something made him to wake up one morning and started demanding for self-determination. The Igbos are being killed. Igbos are marginalized. So they should look at the root cause and stop saying that he purposely wants to divide Nigeria. That's the only thing they will now say. That is the only thing they're using to hold their ground. Just this alone. They claim IPOB activities and the Eastern Security Network prove organized resistance. That is why anything happening in the country now, even if a man and a woman is fighting in Sokoto, they will call IPOB. Everything they will call IPOB, even the NSAS that happened in 2020. And you guys know that the actually order to buy youth in Tollgate was order that came from the top. You guys know what happened. They actually labeled it to be IPOB. Imagine they labeled that thing that happened in Tollgate. They said it was IPOB that organized that thing. Guys, you guys know what happened. I don't want to go to that aspect, because if I go to that aspect, it's going to bring out Buhari's atrocities. I don't want to go to that aspect at all. So now, Kanu's legal team's biggest weapon, he always has been is the illegal redemption argument. So Kanu's legal team has been using this as a stance, to prove that Kanu is innocent. The illegal redemption of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they use it to hold their ground that this is wrong. And in the courts, in fact, in the constitution, Nigerian government, as far as they went to Kenya, do you know, for Nigerian government to go to Kenya, that means they were accomplices. Like, there are Kenyan people that gave them the room for that, because I believe the Nigerian government will not just go to Kenya and then they'll have their way and then they'll take they'll start the oppression. No, there were people that helped them. And this same Kenya has come out to say, open their hands to say that they are innocent, to see what happened. See, Nigerian government doesn't even want to admit. That is just it. They don't want to admit. Why are they scared in releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, even when the law says? That's to tell you that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is their game spoiler. I'll always be saying this thing. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu knows their plans, and once he's released, he's going to finish them. I'm telling you. He knows their plans. We should be asking ourselves who ruled us for 8 years, guys. They said Buhari ruled us for 8 years. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has come out to say, even a British voice said that Buhari died since 2017. This is the lies Nigerian government keeps feeding us with. According to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, he said Buhari died since 2017. Even a British voice came out, a British man came out and said Buhari died since 2017, and you're doubting it. Now, entering defense shifts the fight to proving innocence within the same system they call illegal, a huge moral and strategic turn. Now, many see the judge's vacation and the postponement to October as intentional delay tactics. It adds to the feeling that the system is designed to frustrate the case until IPOB loses stem. Now, they are delaying this thing just to make IPOB weak, or Biafran government weak, or people that are agitating weak and tired. But let me now tell you, Kanu, no matter how they are joined, if let them adjourn it to next 2 years, Kanu's voice still, in fact, his spirit is unbroken. Yes, his voice is still loud. And it's going to be a shame and a slap to Nigerian governments for after all their plans and everything just shashed like that. It's going to be a shame, for them. They are doing all these things, tactics to delay. George is going on vacation. So of all days, today that George will know he'll go on vacation. Can you imagine? Today that we're expecting the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, unfortunately, he's going on vacation. But no problem. On the 10th of October, we'll still come out and, in fact, 10th of October is going to decide if Kanu will leave. And I feel, in fact, I believe that there will not be any excuse again of vacation. James Omotosho, you better go on your vacation and enjoy and come back. If you want to go and read more on law, because it's actually, in fact, I will actually say that Nigerian government doesn't even know what their law is saying. Because how can the law be saying something and they're doing otherwise? Justice James Omotosho, please, if you're going on your vacation, please go and study the law more and come back and release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because the law says he should be released. No more arguments, please. Please release that man. He has not done anything. So somebody said something. Let me read out what this person said. This person says Nigeria will not survive till 2030, as said by US Navy, that Nigeria will cease to exist in 2030. The people that are ruling Nigeria are criminals that violate rule of law. Yes, I also actually heard this. An international voice actually said that Nigeria will not survive by 2030. Now, people think that this man is a prophet. No, he's actually talking. He's actually saying because of what is happening. Imagine a country that watch and clap for terrorists. A country that watch that people die, and when people die, they rejoice. They even reward terrorists. If they keep buying people like this, do you think that Nigeria will exist in 2030? This is not actually wrong. He said Nigeria will not exist till 2030 as said by US Navy, that Nigeria will cease to exist in 2030. The people that are ruling Nigeria are criminals. Only criminals. This is what, people that very corrupt personnel. Look at how they are holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as if he's a terrorist. But the main terrorists, they will not go after them. What stops DSS from going after these Fulani terrorists? What's stopping them? What's stopping them? Why are they so interested in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to the extent they had to adopt him? I don't know the terrorists. It's Nigerian government or the federal government, not the terrorists, because they went ahead to adopt Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now let's continue. This person is actually right. So let's continue. Many people see George vacation many people see George vacation and the postponement to October as an intentional delay tactics. It adds to the feeling that the system is designed to frustrate the case until IPOB loses steam. Now, Kanu's illegal retention is a violation of international law. Hope you guys know that. Amnesty International, UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, and Kenya court has also criticized how Nigeria handled his arrest. If they enter defense, they could call international witnesses. If they enter defense, people are saying, why is international witnesses, why they're not saying anything? They're saying something. But this time around, on the 10th of October, if they do not release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they will enter defense. They will call international witnesses, present evidence of peaceful self-determination. Because, wherever since they've been doing protests, they have been peaceful protests. But it's Nigerian government that will come and be using tear gas on them, opening firearms on them. They will expose how FG violated treaties. Hey, if this defense starts, it's gonna be a huge one. No, it's gonna be very powerful. Nigerian government should better just respect themselves, because if they actually call witnesses, international witnesses, I think Nigeria will be sanctioned because they actually violated international law. So now, if they enter defense, they will call international witnesses. They will present evidence of peaceful self-determination. They will expose how FG violated treaties. They will use recordings. They will use recordings, documents, and testimonies to show Kanu never called for violence. That Kanu is never a terrorist. He's a peaceful man. They are scared of his words because he knows that he's saying the truth. He used real Biafra to say the truth, to expose Nigerian bad corrupt leaders. That is why they are scared, and then they detained him. Not that he committed any crime. Not that he's convicted. Let me tell you that Kanu is not convicted of any crime. He has not been proven guilty. He's not even guilty at all. So he's not a terrorist, he's innocent. People are asking, if you actually said this man, like Aloy Ejimako said that, if this man, I'm going to simply play the video for you guys. He said, if this man is guilty, jail him. If he's not, release him. Why are you delaying him? Why are you keeping him there? That's what Aloy Ejimako said. Many IPOB supporters are disappointed that no case submission has dragged so long. Some fear entering defense might weaken call for political solution and under conditional release. Win or lose, Kanu's trial keeps Biafra in global headline. That is just whether they win or not. It still keeps Kanu's trial keeps Biafran government in global headlines. Every court date, delay, or ruling fits into the wider debate on Nigeria's injustice towards the East. October 10th is now symbolic. Either the court upholds the rule of law or frees him, or Nigeria's judiciary signals it's fully captured by politics. Now, 10th is the D-Day. 10th is the D-Day. Let's know. I will still come back and also update you guys. So that the Nigerian government always claim, before I, move further, take a look at this video. Why Aloy Ejimako came out to say a lot of things concerning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He said that he purely said, without even scared, he was not even scared that, of Nigerian, of the federal government. He openly said that Kanu was kidnapped. Take a look.
For me, quote unquote, kidnapped. You can say intercepted as much as you want, but I think that Kanu was kidnapped, and that is wrong internationally, and it's wrong.
Carried too far. The Nnamdi Kanu question is very dear to our people. That's why I met him and we fixed an appointment. He said, bring the leaders. I brought the leaders of Southeast. Late Chukwemeka Ezife, Mbazulika Mechi, Bishop Onoha, Godio Wazulika of Aki Kenga, he was the president, and myself. And we went and discussed. That was how these leaders were given access to Nnamdi Kanu. And I prodded him to release Nnamdi Kanu, but because it's a political solution that is needed there.
You think he failed in that regard?
Well, he didn't do it.
Before he leaving office.
But he said it was a difficult request because the matter is in the judiciary. But if the matter is in the judiciary, there's what the Constitution have said. As president, you can go under prerogative of mercy and apply it. You can ask the Attorney General to do a nolle prosequi. Okay. These are things that are right. And now the Kenyan court has said that even the repatriation is illegal. So I'm calling on President Bola Tinubu to exercise his rights as per the Constitution and solve that matter. We are leaders in the Southeast. We can guarantee him. We can take Nnamdi Kanu on guarantorship.
So, guys, you heard what Wole Soyinka said, at the very first beginning. He said that Kanu was kidnapped. He did not even, he was not even afraid. He came out boldly to say it. Now, the Nigerian government always claims to support dialogue and national unity, but every action shows otherwise instead of addressing the real grievance of the Southeast. Marginalization, neglect, and injustice. They preferred military raids, arrest, and intimidation. They shut the door on dialogue while using the court as a weapon. Nigeria brazenly violated international law by kidnapping Kanu from Kenya. The same government cries about respecting sovereignty when foreign power criticizes them. Now, I want to say something. Why is it that the law, our judiciary system is not after the people that actually adopted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya? Why is it not going after these people? Why are they interested in the victim? Why? Just like a terrorist who kidnapped someone. Network problem. So as I was saying, Nigerian governments, violated international law by kidnapping Kanu from Kenya. The same government cries about respecting sovereignty when foreign powers criticize them. Yes, they trampled on Kenya's court and international extradition treaties just to silence a political voice. The same government that holds Kanu in solitary confinement negotiates openly with the so-called repentant bandits. Is it not embarrassing? It's not shameful that Nigerian government negotiates with bandits and they grant them amnesty, even paying them, people that wasted lives. But the man who asks for a referendum is branded a terrorist, while real terrorists are pardoned, armed, and reintegrated into society. delaying this trial endlessly is not normal. It's not a normal legal process. It's a tactic to break Kanu's spirit, weaken IPOB, and exhaust the people's resistance. Justice delayed is actually justice denied. The courts are now being used as political shield for government inaction and human rights abuse. Now, like I always say, if Nigerian government knows, if they know the consequences they will get in the future for delaying Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial, or for kidnapping him, or for putting him in detention, they will never, in fact, they will regret of even holding him for a second. I'm telling you. Instead of listening to the Eastern youths calling for self-determination, the FG treats every Igbo protesters like an enemy on the state. Instead of them to listen to Eastern youth calling for self-determination, the FG treats every Igbo protesters like an enemy of the state. Meanwhile, groups in other regions freely issue threats, block highways, or run militias, but they are treated with kid gloves. When the Kenya High Court ruled Kanu's adoption illegal, Nigerian government ignored it. What message does this send? We were expecting them to come out and say some things about what Kenya High Court ruled. They just ignored it. What does this message send? That Nigerian picks and choose what court ruling to obey, even when the same government cries that Kanu should respect Nigerian courts. By forcing on silencing Kanu, the federal government distracts from what IPOB keeps shouting about: bad governance, insecurity, poor infrastructure in the southeast, and the deliberate negligence since the end of the civil war. Even after the civil war, Igbos are still being marginalized, treated like slaves. If those issues were genuinely addressed, IPOB wouldn't even exist at this scale. Remember what happened during the time of Ojukwu, the Aburi Accord meeting and everything. Igbos actually wanted one Nigeria, but then Nigerian government spoiled everything. That was why Igbos are coming out now to say they want self-determination. A nation that ignores its own court judgment, like the appeal court discharged him in 2022, is setting a dangerous example. It says citizens should not trust the judiciary because the executive can override it whenever convenient. The continued detention is not just a local issue, it damages Nigerians' reputation abroad. It shows the world that the country cannot respect basic human rights for fair trial or international law. By postponing Kanu's fate, by saying the judge is going on vacation, the FG is planning or playing with fire. Let me now tell you, Nigerian government doesn't know that they are playing with fire by postponing Kanu's fate, saying that the judge wants to evacuate. My own is that, if you like, let him evacuate from now to tomorrow. But my own is, wherever he is evacuating, he should better go and study the law more and learn how to respect the law. How can the law be saying this and then the judge is doing another thing? The judge, Justice Omotosho, doesn't need anyone to tell him what to do or tell him what. Obey what the law says. It's the law that will tell him what to do. So whenever he's going to evacuate, he should better use this opportunity to learn the law well and come back and, give a good judgment that is backed by the law. Justice must be served. Kanu is not begging anyone to release him. He demands justice. The FG is playing with fire. The more they delay, the more they risk unrest, resentment, and international embarrassment when they could have solved it politically long ago. See, let me tell you the truth then. Let me tell you the truth. You see, if Nigerian government keep doing this thing, keeping Kanu in detention, when they will start their defense, in fact, on 10th of October, according to what the lawyer said, let me just play a video in case you didn't hear him. Take a look.
Please, what happened is this. Today, we made a no-case submission. The meaning of no-case submission is that the trial or the case or witnesses or evidence presented by the prosecution since this trial commenced in March this year did not rise to the level of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stepping into the dock to enter his defense. We did that in writing, And we also supported it with a verbal presentation today. And the government made a counter presentation as well. Today, unfortunately, happened to be the last day of the sitting of the judge handling this case before he proceeds on vacation for 2 months. So the case has been set down for ruling on the no case submission for October 10th. If the ruling goes in our favor, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will stand the discharge unacquitted. If it doesn't mean he has been convicted, but he will be called upon to enter his own defense. And that is when you are going to see the defense we are going to enter, if at all necessary. We have not entered our defense since the beginning of this case because the procedure has not come to that point. And we pray and hope that it will never do. That on the 10th, the matter will be over. But if perchance it doesn't, we are ready to proceed on the floor upon to do so. Thank you very much.
So guys, by 10th October, if Kanu is not released, there's gonna be a big problem, especially for Nigerian government, because they'll start defense. And when they start defense, they'll start bringing US observers, international observers, or witness, let me put it that way, international witness. And then that Nigerian government actually violated international law. It could lead to sanction. I know what it means for Nigeria to be sanctioned. You know what that means? There's going to be a big problem. Like I said, by postponing Kanu's fate, in fact, they are playing with fire. The more they delay, the more they risk unrest. The more they bring international embarrassment to themselves. The federal government says Kanu is the threat. Yes, the real threat is bad leadership. Can you imagine? They say Kanu is the threat. Kanu is the threat because he knows all of you guys plan. You guys want to destabilize Nigeria, and he said no to it. And then you went ahead to arrest him and you're saying that Kanu is a threat. The FG says Kanu is a threat. Yes, the real threat is bad leadership, corruption, injustice, and the refusal to fix structural problems. If you silence Kanu today without fixing these issues, another Kanu will rise tomorrow. That is just it. And let me tell you that they can never silence Kanu. They can never and they will never silence him. His spirit is, in fact, Biafran government is a spirit. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's spirit is unbroken. After how many years? Do you know how many? Do you know if it's not Kanu, hey, the person cannot even survive it. If it was not Kanu, Kanu has been there for so long. In fact, 5 years now, going to 5 years. And then, imagine the trauma he's passing, even his health condition. But even with all this thing, his voice is still loud. His spirit is unbroken. He has vowed never to betray Biafrans. Now, if you silence Kanu today, which they cannot even, without fixing this issue, another Kanu will rise up tomorrow. There's no need, there's no need. The truth would not run. This is simply that truth cannot be hidden. They will still be exposed. One day, they will still be exposed. Imagine a government that jails truth but pardons terror. I've not seen this kind of government before. A government that jails truth but they pardon bandits, they pardon terror. Release Kanu or keep brewing anger. They fear Kanu because he speaks what they hide. That's the only reason they are keeping him. They fear Kanu today because he's speaking the truth. He speaks what they hide. Selective justice will destroy Nigeria faster than IPOP could ever. Many militant group across Nigeria, Kanu never personally carried weapons. His main tool has always been a microphone and Radio Biafra broadcast. He has never been found with any weapon. His weapon is his words. Yes, imagine his words are so powerful. That is why Nigerian government are so interested in him. Because he speaks what they hide. Kanu was never personally carried any weapon. His main tool has always been a microphone and a Radio Biafra broadcast. Yet, he's branded a terrorist. Why real terrorists, real armed group openly terrorizing highways and villages are called bandits or even unknown gunmen. They call it header clash. That's what they call it. Restructuring, the same politicians calling Kanu a threat once campaigned on restructuring Nigeria. They used it to get Igbo's votes, only to pardon it once in office, yet they punish him for voicing the same restructuring demand in clearer and bolder terms. Do you know there was a time they actually said they use this one as their stance? Hey, Nigerian government are just, they should just go and back out and rest. They have done too much. It's actually obvious that you have done too much, and then are you not tired of fighting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Why don't you just go and rest? You know that this man don't have any case to answer. You know you don't have any case against this man. Why are you going after him? There was a time they were saying that they said Kanu is a terrorist. They cannot even prove. Now everything that happened in that is happening everywhere in the country, they will say it's Kanu. Now look at their new stance. That Kanu is purposely wants to divide Nigeria. That's their new stance now. We're ignoring the root cause of why the agitation started. Of where the accusation started. So you can see. So now, there was a time they were saying that Kanu is this, that. They cannot even prove. They cannot even prove. What is a terror? Who is a terrorist? A terrorist works with gun. Bad guys operate openly. Bandits operate openly. Terrorists operate openly. Nigerian DSS will not go after them, but they'll go after an innocent man. Kanu never picked up weapons. He never picked up weapons. Kanu never personally carried weapons. His main tool has always been a microphone and a radio Biafra broadcast. Yet they branded him a terrorist, while a real armed group openly terrorize the country. They call them they don't call them bandits or terror. What they call them is, they say they are innocent citizens. Restructuring, the same politicians calling Kanu a threat once campaigned on restructuring Nigeria. They used it to get Igbo votes, only to abandon it once in office. Yet they punish him for voicing the same restructuring demand in clear border term. Like I wanted to say then, but it skipped my mind. So I wanted to say then that Nigerian government actually was using this as their stand. They were saying that Kanu said that that because he said people should defend himself. That was one of their stands, saying that Kanu said that people should defend himself, and DSS went and locked him up. Now the same person that said that locked him up, the same person is now saying that people should defend themselves now. So who is wrong now? Who should be locked up now? You can see. Now they're not using this one as a new stance, saying that Kanu is purposely, it's not about expression of expression, is that he purposely wants to break up Nigeria, which is wrong. Something led to what happened. Kanu did not just wake up one morning to start saying he wants Biafra. Something actually happened. Self-inflated, the FG claims. IPOP sit at home orders cripple the Southeast economy. That's what FG is claiming. But who created the environment where a simple broadcast can shut down cities? Is it the lack of trust in the state? Not just Kanu's words. If the people trusted the government, they wouldn't obey a pirate's radio over elected leaders. Just because, like I always say, they are just scared of Kanu's words. Imagine a man's words scaring Nigerian government. A man's word, that what he says, scaring. See, if people actually knows, okay, let me tell you, why are people listening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu more than Nigerian government? Because people know that Nigerian government are corrupt and they have no plans for them. Because of they know that, in fact, Nigerian government knows that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's word is so powerful. They know that his words is so powerful. That is why they have jailed him. They are scared. Guys, see, for them to, go extra mile, they have not done these things to bandits. They can't even see. They have not taken the step when it comes to bad guys terrorizing people in Nigeria. For them to go extra mile to violate Kenya's law, to violate their own law, to violate international law, guys, that's to show you how scared they are. Kanu's word is powerful. He used to say what Nigerian government hid for so many years. I am telling you, that is why they are on Kanu's case. Living terrorists, they are on his case. On his case. Who created the environment where a simple broadcast can shut down cities? Is it the lack of trust in the state? Not just Kanu's word. So, if the people trusted the government, they wouldn't obey a pirate radio over elected leaders. Contempt the same government prosecuting Kanu for alleged contempt of Nigeria's unity is itself guilty of contempt of court. Disobeying multiple domestic and international rulings. A government that flouts its own law cannot demand loyalty from citizens. Obey your law, please. That is all we say. Is it a big deal? What will it take Nigerian governments from obeying their own law? Keeping Kanu in solitary confinement for years is a psychological torture. Keeping him for years is a psychological torture. A violation of a basic human right. If they truly believes in their evidence, why fear him talking to people or the press? Why fear him? Because they know his voice shakes the foundation of their lies. They know that his voice shakes the Kanu is their game spoiler. His word, just a word of a man. You can imagine, a word of a man is what they are scared of. They know that, they know so many lies they have built. I know that Kanu, his words, his words, the words he says, he shakes his foundation. They know because his voice shakes his foundation of their life. That's why they have gone ahead to still detain him. Kenya's court said Kanu was kidnapped and must be returned. Yet the Nigerian government pretends that verdict does not exist. The same government rushes to waive international laws when it wants foreign loans or UN sympathy. Country that claims to be a democracy uses secret police, DSS rats, and closed-door trials against an agitator for self-determination. So how is Nigeria practicing democracy? How? But does nothing about corrupt politicians who loot billions and destabilize the entire region. Untouchable other regions are, or other separatists are untouchable. Other regions have had separatist cause too. Let me tell you that although the Wa Republic, these are regions, this is Yoruba, they wanted their own nation, Ariwa Republic, even Middle Belt independence voices, but no high-profile Yoruba or Hausa separatist leader is locked up in solitary for 4 years straight. Why only Kanu? Why only the East? So you can see what is happening. No gun has been found. Even a mere knife has not been found with Kanu. But they still claim he's a terrorist. Why is all this thing happening? No gun has been found with him. But they still claim he's a terrorist. So you can see what is happening. So now, 10th of October will decide. Yes, we have actually accepted that Justice James Omotosho is going on vacation. We accept. But then, all we are saying is that as you're going for vacation, please try to study the law well and try to learn how to obey law, because it is the law that is guiding you. Don't just talk ordinarily. You're talking because of the law says it. So, Justice James Omotosho, please, as you're going on vacation, learn how to obey your law or Nigerian's law and release Kanu, because the law says that they should release him. So that is just the 10th of October will decide if Kanu will be released. And if it's not released, the lawyer said that, the lawyer said that they are going to, start, they'll begin defense. And once they begin defense, they'll bring in their witnesses. US observers will come in this case. Yes, they will come in. Now, if you've not watched this video, take a look at this video.
What happened is this. Today, we made a no case submission. The meaning of no case submission is that the trial or the case or witnesses or evidence presented by the prosecution since this trial commenced in March this year did not rise to the level of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stepping into the dock to enter his defense. We did that in writing, and we also supported it with a verbal presentation today. And the government made a counter presentation as well. Today, unfortunately, happened to be the last day of the sitting of the judge handling this case before he proceeds on vacation for 2 months. So the case has been set down for ruling on the no case submission for October 10th. If the ruling goes in our favor, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will stand discharged or acquitted. If it doesn't mean he has been convicted, but he will be called upon to enter his own defense. And that is when you are going to see the defense we are going to enter, if at all necessary. We have not entered our defense since the beginning of this case because the procedure has not come to that point. And we pray and hope that it will never do. That on the 10th, the matter will be over. But if perchance it doesn't, we are ready to proceed. Only called upon to do so. Thank you very much.
So guys, we cannot wait for 10th of October because right now Kanu's lawyers have actually said that Kanu's case was postponed to 10th of October. So we cannot wait. It will decide whether Kanu will be released or if the defense will come in. But if he's not released, defense will come in. Yes, they will start their own defense. They will start their own defense. And you know what that means? It's going to be a powerful one. A powerful one, guys. Believe me when I said that, because US observers will be present in court to defend Kanu. US observers will be present in court to defend Kanu. Yes, because you know that for a while now, they have been speaking, saying that Kanu was adopted, was kidnapped. And therefore, his trial is not supposed to even be on. They're even asking the ones that were in Nigeria, the ones that came to Nigeria to observe his, how his trial is going. He said that Kanu was illegally adopted. So why is his case still on when he was adopted illegally? Why is his case still on? Release him. So now, if Kanu's legal team start their defense, US observer of witnesses will be in court live and direct. There will be video recording. They'll use video. They'll use recording to actually prove Kanu's innocence. And then, in fact, it's going to be a powerful one. Nigerian government should better, if they don't want to hit this clash, because if US observers is going, if they'll be present in court on the 10th of October, guys, I feel they're going to sanction Nigerian government for actually disobeying international laws, even disobeying their own law. It's going to be a powerful one. We can't wait. So guys, we have come to the end of this live section. If you're new to this channel, do well to hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to come back and also tell you guys what's going on. So hit that subscribe button, like, and drop a comment under the comment section. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with me, and I'll see you guys in my next live section.